Good morning, welcome to Tristar Digging. I appreciate you joining us today. I am going to get this little trailer hooked up here to the truck because we're going to run down to the store here. It's on the 4-lane highway. I bought a new piece of equipment, and the truck that's bringing that piece of equipment won't be able to get into my driveway, so we're going to park down there and unload it, and I'm going to drive it home, and then I'm going to come back and get the Kubota side by side, drive it back to the store, put it on the trailer, and drive it home. When you work by yourself, you just got to figure out how to get things done. So I'm excited about this piece of equipment. I've been wanting one of these for a long time, and I actually saw one on Dirt Boss's channel, and he's been using that and really liked this piece of equipment. And then a little bit later on, I guess probably a week or so ago, Elite Earthworks, Brandon, bought one of these, and I haven't seen any videos with it yet, but I have seen it on Instagram. So I just couldn't stand it any longer. I found this one, a viewer, Nate, found this on Facebook and sent me a link to the ad on Facebook, called the guy up, ended up buying it. So we'll head down there to the store and wait on the truck to show up and take a look at what I got. All right, we got the trailer hooked up. I gotta go put him up because he ain't going. Don't you get in that truck. No, you gotta go to bed up there. All right, here she comes rolling in. Let's this truck driver figure out where he can pull off the side of the road out here. There's a little truck. That is going to be a game changer, I believe. Looking forward to using that, and I bought it out of Ohio. A guy had it on Facebook, and he's got a pretty good sized farm drainage business going on up there, and he's wanting to buy a new tile plow and didn't need this any longer. So let's take a look at this thing. There's the driver right there. How'd you make it? Good. All right, sir. Yep. We're gonna get flattened out there and get a place where we can drop it at, and we'll get it unloaded right here and take a look at it. And it looks like he's done this before. Yeah, a couple times he said. What's the name of your business?
Tipple Family Transport.
And this is David with Tipple Family Transport out of Ohio. And what part of Ohio are you in?
Wakeman.
Wakeman.
West of Cleveland, about 40 minutes.
West of Cleveland, about 40 minutes. So if you're up in that area, you need any hauling, just I'll put their information in the description or on the channel there, and you can give them a holler. How big an area do you cover as far as transport and stuff?
Tri-state, kind of.
Okay.
But I go all over. Anywhere really.
Anything east of Colorado, he said. He hadn't had any coffee yet this morning. So that's our little truck right there, and I've already named it the Hog because it's going to hog a lot of dirt and hog a lot of rock. Biggest issue he told me about it was dry rot of the tires, and I see that. There's still a lot of life left in these for what I'll be doing with it. Tread is a lot of tread still left on them. They're just tires are just old. It's a 2000, best I remember 2003, but a little bit later today when I get it home, I'll go over the specs of the truck, and we're going to give it a good bath and try her out good. I'll help him get this thing unchained, and we'll get it off here. All right, here we go. Off she goes. Definitely needs a bath. He's having to open the windows just to be able to see out of it. All right, it's off the trailer. We'll help David get loaded up here, and he can be on his way. Where do you put your jack?
They go on my neck.
Okay.
I'll hook up first.
Just like that. He is hooked up. Nice truck and trailer. He can haul about whatever you want to haul. You can haul whatever, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's 55 tons, so I can haul up to 120 pounds. So.
Up to 120,000 pounds. So.
Put 80,000 under that. So, yeah.
80,000. Oh, 80,000 on the deck. Okay. Yeah.
So.
Phone number to reach you at?
440-822-9286. And yeah, we do blowboy work and then flatbed work.
Okay,
so,
cool deal.
So.
All right, appreciate it. So we're gonna climb up in the machine here for a little while, the hog, as I mentioned earlier, and see if we can figure out how to drive it. Never drove one before, but we'll figure it out. All right, climb in here for the first time. And I tell you right now, I can't see anything out of these windows. Windshield cleaner and clean these windows before I even drive it. There's the dash, and I don't know how to pull up the hour meter on it right now, but it's supposed to have a little over 2,000 hours on it. And I have absolutely no idea how to drive this. So let's do first thing first, get these windows clean so I can see, and then we'll figure out the rest of it. All right, let's get the truck locked up and then we'll take this thing to the house. Yeah, that trailer's not big enough to haul it. We'll have to drive her home. It's not easy to get in and out of, I can tell you that right now. Ugh. All right, now I can see out a little bit. Let's see what we got here. That's the dump. Yeah, that's the dump's the bed. Lights. Probably a warning beacon. Reverse beeper shut off. Don't know. This is probably climate control. Shifter. Looks like forward and reverse. Don't know. That may be something to do. There was some kind of a hookup on the front. As a matter of fact, I remember now, he said there was a snow plow on this thing at one time. And this is going to be the valve body for the hydraulics on the front. That's pretty neat to have. Even if I don't use it on this machine, I could use it for something else. Let's see. Parking brake. This is the parking. It's just the knob's wobbly. And you just got to twist it to get it to turn off. So now then, that has reset. We are ready to go, and put this baby forward and we're going. I'll have to work on that. That's going to be a little bit aggravating. I think just the screws come off the back side of it. And away we go. Figured out now, then you move it to the right to change gears up, you move it to the left to change gears down. So you simply bump it over like that, hit it in the next gear. I think it's got 6 forward gears, so that's gear number 6 right there, and that's as high as it goes as far as gears. We are gone. He said the air conditioner wasn't working on it, and but the heat did. And there is no way I see to let the windows down or up or out or anything. So that's going to be a must to get that fixed before it gets hot this summer. All right, we got the hog home and got her down here to the barn, and Diesel has already approved. I think he wants to go for a ride, so we'll put him in there and go for a ride. And then we got to go get the truck and trailer and bring it back. And then we got to work on that skid steer. We got to replace the rear sprockets and the tracks on that thing today. But that'll be in a separate video. Just in case you hadn't seen it yet, I had a little bit of a boo-boo. That's not supposed to be like that. So that track finally ripped and gave up the ghost, and these sprockets are completely wore out. I got all I could get out of them, so we'll be doing that in a separate video. And let's take Diesel for a ride, and we'll go get something else. All right, Diesel is in, and he's ready to go for a ride. As I'm going down here to the river to turn it around, there's just a few little things that I want to fix right away. I think I mentioned already, is the air conditioner. It's going to be hot this summer, and I guess these doors could be pushed open, but that's not going to be much air, especially as slow as this thing's going to be going. So that air conditioner is going to have to be fixed. And then the parking brake, it's not holding. We talked about that already, but I think there's an adjustment according to Taylor, the guy I bought it from. We think there's an adjustment on there, and can get that fixed. There's a few other little things. The dump cylinders are leaking, and not bad, they're not pouring. Those will need to be fixed at some point. And that's just the things off the top of my head that I can remember. But we'll be doing a little bit of work to it here and there and getting in tip-top shape. Main thing is Diesel approves. I'm really liking it. First impression is, actually I love it, first impression. Diesel said he loves it too, and so let's go get the truck and the Kubota, and we'll come back and a little bit later today once I get the skid steer fixed. And we'll come back. I got a hot water pressure washer. I'm gonna steam clean the whole thing and get it cleaned up, and start trying to do some investigating on the parking brake and the air conditioner. And then we'll go over the specs of it, what it weighs, what it'll haul, what engine's in it, and all that good stuff. All right, I got the Kubota out, and we're going to the store. Now then, we'll take a pause from this video and go work on the skid steer, and I'll be back to this one shortly. Okay, it's time to get back on the video with the hog there. I got the shoes back on the skid steer now. It's got a brand new pair of shoes, brand new sprockets, and I got that sprocket on there and that shoe, and over here on the other side, Also got the sprocket on there, got a shoe, and down there was all my troubles with that roaring sound that I've been dealing with on the skid steer. So new shoes, let's get back on the hog. And what I'm gonna do with the hog now is I'm gonna take it up to the house, and I mentioned that hot water pressure washer that I've got. I'm gonna spray the whole machine off, and I've got some of that mean green or whatever you call it. I'm gonna spray it down, degrease it to some extent, clean the interior, and we'll take a look at it. Once I get that done, I'll probably time lapse the cleaning part of it some, and then once I get all that done, we'll raise the hood, take a look at that, and then we'll go over the specs of this machine, what it does. Well, I went in there to start it. I was going to raise the bed up to keep on washing it, and I realized that I have a problem. The problem is there's a master switch. It's right there, and there's a key that works that master switch, and yeah, it's gone. So anybody see it? Yeah, this ain't good. I'm gonna spend a little while here looking for that key, and then may or may not find it, and I'll be back in a little bit. All right, well, that didn't take long. I found it. It was underneath the truck, right inside that front wheel there. So that's good. Let me see if I can get it started now and raise that bed up. We got the JCB 714 dump truck pressure washed off, and I got the interior cleaned up fairly good. I wouldn't say she's been detailed or anything, but it is a lot cleaner than it was. You remember this morning you couldn't even see out the windows. It was dirty. So we got it looking pretty good now, and we'll go over some of the specs of the truck, and then we'll take a look at the engine, and then take a look at the interior now that I got it clean. Most important part is how much does it haul? And it is just a few pounds shy of 29,000 pound payload is what the specs show that it will haul. It has a 5.9 Cummins engine in it. It has a what they call a smooth shift, I think if I'm saying that right, transmission. It's hydrostatic. It has 6 forward gears and 3 reverse gears. You can run it in automatic, or you can also run it, I guess what you call slap shift. You can change gears by moving the stick left and right. To do that. The old hog weighs 22,000 pounds thereabouts, maybe just a little bit more. Around 11 tons is what it weighs. And the tires on it, I think I showed the size that while ago, 650 65 R25. I'm just going to guess $2,000 a piece. And that's my guess. Somebody else probably going to know that's watching the video. But it's a pretty good little machine. It's got a few cosmetic issues, some cracked windows. Those curved windows are cracked. They're not broken out, just cracked. And a few little things I want to fix. Got dented up along its life. It's a 2003 model, and it's got a little over 2,000 hours on it. The total weight, if it had the full payload in it, is right at 51,000 pounds, just a little bit over that. Let's take a look at the engine and take a look at the interior. That's the 5.9 Cummins engine. It's wet. It's got some oil leaks here and there. I think mostly just the top side. Probably some valve cover gaskets would fix a lot of it. But it's pretty good shape. Got some black tape taped the water overflow on it. I might do a little bit of work to that, secure that on there a little better. If the hood will stay up, I'll get to the other side, but I don't know if it will or not. Barely got it to stay up. This whole side of the engine is wet, and like I said, most of it's coming from the valve covers up there. Pretty apparent that's where it's coming from. I don't know how hard that is to fix, but I'll get old Lucas to take a look at it and see what it would take to dry that up some. We'll let the hood down now. Easy, right? And we'll take a look at the inside. As I mentioned earlier, it's got a hydraulic valve body right here, and like I said, this used to run a snowplow on the front of it. The information I got, this used to be on a military base, and they used it to clear off runways, and that's why the snowplow valve body's on it. A little bit cleaner than it was. It's looking pretty good. A lot of these are light switches. I'll have to figure out what all that is. And this is the parking brake release, which is it's not working. We'll have to figure out how to do some adjustments on it. And then this is the shifter forward. It's automatic, and then you move it to left and right to downshift or upshift. Same thing for reverse. Pull it in reverse, downshift, upshift. And then this is the dump lever. I think I showed that this morning, but if not, I'm going to do it again. And I've turned the kill switch off. That little kill switch right there is getting on my nerves. I'm going to have to figure out how to make that stay on. After I've washed it, I've got some electrical issues apparently. All the lights are on and none of this stuff's working. That's what happens when you pressure wash something a little bit too much, I guess. Raise this bed up. Give her a little gas. That's fully up. I do want to get out and show you how steep that dump is. I mean, there's nothing can be left in that thing as steep as it dumps. And we'll get out and take a look at that in just a minute. I'm hoping when it dries out that my gauges are going to come back on. I sure hope anyway. But that's pretty much it on the interior. So let's climb out here and take a look at that dump body. And that is the bed fully dumped right there, and you can access everything underneath here for maintenance or repairs, whatever you need to do. Really accessible under here. All the grease fittings I've noticed are real easy to get to. Those have lines that go into places they need to go, and grease fittings everywhere it's kind of handy. But look how steep this dump bed. I mean, it's straight up and down. There's no way anything, well, I guess some pea gravel and some sticky dirt can stay, but that's pretty steep, and that will dump very nicely. I'll get back in the cab and lower that bed while y'all are out here. That's pretty much it for the hog. I turned the engine off and my lights on the dash stayed on, so that's not a good sign. I got something wet that shouldn't be wet, but maybe it'll dry out and start working again. If not, I guess we'll figure it out. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the video here on the JCB 714 little dump truck, the hog as I'm gonna call it. cleaning it up and going an overview of it and going over some of the specs on it. If you got any questions about it, just shoot me a comment and I'll try to get that answered. But I am looking forward to using this truck. If you remember some of the videos that I've tried to use my little single axle international truck, been stuck so many times in that. Not in this one. Well, probably shouldn't say that. It is four-wheel drive, so I got a lot better chance of not getting stuck in this truck versus that little international truck. But it's a little too early to say that. So I hope you enjoyed it. God bless you, and stick around for the message if you will. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video of the hog here getting delivered and cleaned up, and I think this is going to be a great addition to the equipment lineup that I already have. And this is just going to be a game changer. I think it's going to be really productive and really efficient, and I'm excited to use it for the first time and looking forward to that and getting on that first job and seeing how well it's going to do. So as I move into the message part of this video, I'm reminded of the weight that this dump truck can haul and how much it can dump in one spot. You can load it up heavy and dump it there. Same way of the world. The world can dump a heavy load into the life of a person in the form of opportunities for sin and shame and regret and frustration. There's so much can be dumped into your life today by the world, and the world can obviously dump more than this old dump truck here can. So it's important that we have a perspective, that we have a base of understanding of how to deal with the frustrations of this world and how to deal with the heavy weights that the world can dump in our lap. And I'm reminded of a passage of scripture in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. And it talks about coming to the Lord with an understanding of who He is and casting our cares upon Him. So let me read that and we'll talk just a little bit about it and gain a better understanding of how we can handle those things in our life. So in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 through, I think it's verse 30, it says this: "Come to me, all you..." Would you quit? Down. Stay. So in verse 28, it says this: "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke," this is important, "for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." The weight of this world and the frustrations of this world is definitely not light, and the burden is not light from this world. But Jesus is saying here in verse 30 that His yoke is easy and His burden is light. That yoke is talking about a tool or an instrument back in the day that went over the head and over the shoulders of an animal, of a couple animals, and that was used to pull an instrument or tool or a plow or wagon, or whatever the case may be. Talking about that yoke. So Jesus said His yoke's not heavy. He said that it's easy and his burden is light. Meaning that following in the ways of Jesus Christ, it's not always peaches and cream. There is tough times in it, but He's saying that He will make the way right and that He will make the way for us. So in verse 28, His invitation is to come to Him for those who are laboring and those who are heavy laden. And it says He'll give us rest. He'll give us rest in the assurance and knowing that He's in control. We're no longer fighting this world on our own in our own strength, but we're fighting it in the power and the resources that God gives us through His Holy Spirit. In verse 29, it says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find," important, "rest for your souls." Well, what is that rest talking about here? So in the commentary of the Bible that I read from says this: it says, "Rest from the endless, fruitless efforts to save oneself by works." There's a lot of people in the world thinking that they can earn their salvation or they can get to heaven by being good enough or working hard enough or that their works will stand good for them when they stand before the Lord at the day of judgment. Listen, that's not going to happen that way. Salvation is by faith through grace, not of works, so that no one should boast. Stop working in this world pursuing a religion or pursuing salvation or righteousness through works, because it's not by works that we're saved. It's through and by the grace of God that we're saved. So Jesus is saying here, come to me, all you who are burdened and heavy laden, and that He will give you rest. So I hope that if you are searching for that rest, if you're searching for a rest from this world and the burdens of this world, I hope that you'll find that in Jesus Christ. I hope that you're a Christian trusting in Him today. If you're not, I pray that you come to know Him and trust in Him as your Lord and Savior, so that you can experience and know that rest. So God bless you, and I appreciate you watching.